Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Fantastic Four versus the X-Men #2. Uh, Continuing on this series right here, and pretty cool cover right here. You got Doctor Doom in the background, Wolverine over the dead bodies of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Your mother's been avenged, okay, kid? I don't think the kid's okay with this result. By the way, this cover is a bit misleading. This actually doesn't happen in the issue. In fact, the rest of the covers for this series are a bit misleading, in my opinion. They're very striking, but they're a bit misleading. Anyhow, let's get into this. We open up, great splash page right here. We got Wolverine screaming at Reed Richards, "Save Shadowcat or else." Truth and consequences. This issue right here is written by Chris Claremont, art by Jon Bogdanove, inked by Terry Austin, and Nascenti and Don DeLay as editors, and editor-in-chief Jim Shooter. So we get right back into it. The Fantastic Four and the X-Men are basically going at it. Let's be honest. If you were looking at this on the spinner rack, this is probably why you bought this comic book series. Because, hey, it's the Fantastic Four versus the X-Men. Why not, right? So they go all out. Essentially what's going on is the Fantastic Four went to Muir Island to ostensibly try to save Shadowcat's life, and Reed Richards basically tells the X-Men there's nothing I can do for her, and they are somewhat confused because, based on the literature, he should be able to save Shadowcat's life, but for some reason he's saying he can't, and he won't really explain why, which makes the X-Men think that he's just, chickening out or backing out on his promises. So this kind of grinds Wolverine and Magneto's gears, and since these two characters are very much on the edge of what you would consider a hero, they kind of go all out right here, and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four come to blows. Got the Thing here doing a little bit of power slam right here. This is almost like you guys ever played Marvel vs. Capcom? This is like Hulk's little Hulk slap that he goes right here. Kind of knocks Magneto unconscious, but Storm's able to go over and try to stop Wolverine. Johnny Storm, who the Human Torch, who was kind of knocked out by Wolverine in the previous issue, wakes up, flames on, and attempts to stop Wolverine from killing Reed, but he ends up hitting Storm here and basically burning her arm. While this is going on, Rogue jumps into action, and she has this. She's able to take out the Thing by absorbing his powers with a kiss. Classic Rogue right here, and you get a lot of great writing here by Chris Claremont, kind of explaining both Rogue's situation and the Thing's situation in one go. And you can see here as Rogue cries as she's absorbing his powers, because she also absorbs a lot of their thoughts, their memories, their experiences. She's realizing, what a life Ben Grimm has had. This is great Chris Claremont right here. This is typical of him. It's always about ultimately what are the motivations and the psychology of these characters as they go together, right? And meanwhile, the Human Torch gets telepathically knocked out by Psylocke. This is British butterfly Psylocke right here. Psylocke jumps into action to try and calm everybody down. In fact, She-Hulk here is having a hard time calming Wolverine down as he's kicking the living crap out of Reed Richards right here. Again, She-Hulk very strong, obviously able to hold on to Wolverine, but not necessarily able to stop him from going crazy. Here, Chris Claremont's kind of harkening back to what, Wolverine really is, which is like, if you guys have ever seen videos of actual Wolverines, they're basically freaking weasels on crack. Like very, very big and muscular and savage weasels, but nevertheless weasels, right? And all this is going on the sort of astral form here of Franklin Richards is there and tries to stop them from fighting, but he finds out that his astral form doesn't really have power at this point, so he ends up falling out of bed. Here comes Sue to kind of calm her child down as he tries to explain what's going on the other side of the world. And She herself is having some issues right here as she brings up Reed Richards' journal, right? So this is reminding the reader of what happened in the previous issue, the discovery of Reed Richards' journal, and something terribly, damaging within this journal to the Fantastic Four. She ends up throwing the journal to the side and basically exploding in anger. I like this right here. This is actually really freaking cool. You have Jon Bogdanove basically letting Sue here go full Dragon Ball Z and launching her, just basically tearing apart her uniform with her invisible force field powers right here. Really cool art right here. You know what? I know some people don't like Jon Bogdanove's art, but I can't help but really like his art in this series. Maybe it's just me. I just kind of like it. Anyhow, back in the infirmary, if you remember the previous subplot with Dazzler and Longshot saving this fisherman, they end up seeing the action on the outside, and they run with Havoc, freaking A. My brain's like getting scrambled right here. With with Havoc out to go help the X-Men. And this fisherman ends up revealing to be basically a construct robot. Here you get Sharon Freelander, who's freaking out as he's going full warlock right here. On the outside, the conflict between the X-Men and the Fantastic Four finally cooled down, and Storm is able to calm down Wolverine and stop him from attempting to kill Reed Richards. And the X-Men, of course, are very frustrated with the situation. They need the Reed Richards' expertise to save Shadowcat, but he basically doesn't want to help them. And the Construct ends up coming out and meeting all of them, and lo and behold, it is, of course, a servant of Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom, noticing the X-Men's predicament, offers the X-Men to a opportunity here. He, of course, as he fancies himself a true rival of Reed Richards, is of course brilliant enough to replicate Reed Richards' technology, and he will have the nerve to save Shadowcat by replicating Reed's technology and essentially saving Shadowcat's life. Of course, Reed is not for this, as he's pretty much, as most people know, Doctor Doom is not a good character, and Reed, of course, asked the X-Men not to take his offer, but both Moira McTaggart and the rest of the X-Men are like, well, why don't you help us? Oh wait, no, you didn't, so shut up. And by the way, get off my island. So the Fantastic Four end up leaving, and going to regroup and reconsider Doctor Doom's opportunity here. And then what kind of happens from here on is sort of jumping back and forth between the X-Men having to come to grips with taking Doctor Doom's offer, and the Fantastic Four now finally going back to Reed Richards' journal and realizing what's going on here in terms of the team dynamics, right? So Reed, of course, is frustrated. He kind of choked right there when he was sent out to go help Shadowcat. He's trying to figure out what happened to me. I'm like losing my confidence. And while he's having this crisis of confidence, he gets tossed into a wall by the Thing, who is obviously not happy. And he gets sent over here with the rest of the team, and now he has to explain what's actually in the journal, which most of the readers at this point are probably like, what is in this journal anyway? Because everybody's pissed off, and Reed's like beat the fuck up, so what's going on here? Meanwhile, back at the island, there's Wolverine and Rogue kind of taking their frustrations out as they, were trying to save Shadowcat, and they're running out of time to save Kitty's life. And they are indeed considering taking Doctor Doom's offer right here. On the other side of the Atlantic, Reed and the rest of the Fantastic Four have asked him to, hey, read this book and tell us what's going on. And initially what you get is essentially a retelling of Fantastic Four #1, the events that happened with them gaining their powers after a misshapen adventure into space, and becoming the Fantastic Four. You jump back to the X-Men, and the X-Men are, of course, Here, Dazzler is worried, as she knows from her own experience that Doctor Doom is indeed a piece of shit, and they are likely going to get backstabbed by him by taking his offer. But they don't really have a choice, as Wolverine kind of points out here. It's either, of course it does, Rogue. That's the point. Question is, which matters more, Kitty or us? And we get back to the Fantastic Four on the other side, and here's where it gets revealed. And that is that Reed had, according to the journal, he had purposely set up the spacecraft and the radiation shielding within the spacecraft to create the Fantastic Four. It was not an accident, but in fact on purpose, per what this journal says. And he even says in here, I dare not reveal this mission to Susan and Johnny, who are too young, or to Ben, who is too hot-headed, as they might refuse. At that point, of course, Ben Grimm, the one most affected by what happened in Fantastic Four #1, realizes that he was truly and completely betrayed by his friend Reed Richards. And of course, he walks out and he says goodbye to Sue, who he always loved, and leaves the Fantastic Four. Johnny and She-Hulk walk out as well, as they are pretty much stunned by the results. And you're left with Reed and Sue right there. Probably the most awkward situation ever between a husband and a wife in a comic book, right? Ooh, nice advertisement for Fallen Angels. And back over here on the last page with the X-Men, you have, once again, this is classic of the late 80s right here, Storm and Wolverine, conversing with each other, as the two of them are essentially co-leaders of the X-Men. More so Storm, but Wolverine providing that rock for her to lean against. And they have decided they're going to take the offer from Doctor Doom, and they're going to go try and save Kitty's life. And there you go, man. This is Claremont, really like classic Claremont. It's all about the human drama, high stakes. The characters interacting with each other, right? And also, kind of providing drama that is both, almost character defining and team shattering drama, right, in a sense, but not necessarily betraying who these characters are, right? Reed himself is stunned as he reads this journal. Johnny, ever the young man, but at the same time, sort of torn between whether he loves having these powers or whether he doesn't like having these powers, needing to kind of think about what he's just discovered. Sue, of course, being the mother, ever mindful of her family and what everyone's feelings are, being very much distraught over this news. And Ben, who forever was changed by the results of what happened in Fantastic Four #1, feeling completely betrayed by what Reed Richards did here. It's very interesting in the sense that this is moved. One could say that this series is more of a Fantastic Four story with the X-Men being there. But in a way, you got to remember, this is Chris Claremont, and these X-Men characters are essentially his. So he provides just enough here of the X-Men to really provide what's going on. None of the X-Men feel out of character here. Wolverine is the hothead, Storm is the leader, everyone else, their personalities show in this issue right here. And it makes a lot of sense that they would take Doctor Doom's offer here, even though they have fought and dealt with Doctor Doom in the past, and that they did try to go the good way, appealing to the Fantastic Four, and it didn't work out. So they got to do something here. Meanwhile, the Fantastic Four are about ready to split at the seams. So we're only 2 issues in, and this drama's, it's hype. Yeah, excuse me, guys. I love this kind of stuff because it's a lot of, it's very soap opera-y, but in a way, I kind of really enjoy it because it's kind of like boys and men's soap opera, right? It's like if the afternoon shows were cool and they had superheroes and people with freaking superpowers and stuff, and not just some wife dealing with her husband, not being faithful with her or some other bullshit soap opera crap. But no, it's great stuff, man. It really is. Anyhow, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments on the Fantastic Four versus the X-Men, leave it down below. And I will see you next time.